today's video is all about the magic of bulbs. And I am so excited to finally share with you a before and after of a new garden bed that I did in the winter and early spring. So I have posted videos on here about the creation of the bed, but I purposefully sat on this video, which was the reveal from July of this year, because I wanted to wait until it was time to get excited about ordering bulbs again for next spring. I hope this video inspires you and helps you think of ways that you could use bulbs and shows you what's possible just within the span of a few short months. Welcome back to Garden Studio. I'm Tessa Pinner, a designer and gardener in upstate South Carolina, Zone 8A. This area here is a definite extension that we did over the winter. We carved up a slice of grass here and a large slice of grass here and made it all a garden bed. I am so thrilled to show you, after just one season, what it looks like, what it can look like, and every year it will just get better and better. So most of these plants here, I actually started from seed, and I really just wanted to see what can I do in one season at a minimal investment. So I'm not buying lots of mature perennials. I started a combination of annuals and perennials, and then I have a smattering of bulbs. And I think actually what really makes this garden pop already in year one is the bulbs. The magic of bulbs is that they look good so quickly. So I have a theme of white threading through, and most of the tall white, this is a Coreopsis, a perennial that I planted, but you can see a hardy gladiolus and then a summer hyacinth are these very tall spires. Those are all bulbs that were planted in March. So this is just a few months on. They will come back every year. The perennials will bulk up so that next year you'll see absolutely no space on the ground level. That's my goal. I don't want to have to keep mulching a garden like this. The idea would be, let's cover the ground in plants so that the planting ultimately takes care of itself and we don't have to do lots of weeding all the time. So I have done some weeding in here, basically one big weed, and I'll keep after it a little bit. By the time next year rolls around, all of the perennials that take a little bit of time to bulk up will be bigger, and then I'll just be filling in any little holes with zinnias and cosmos and those fun little sparkly flowers that just extend the bloom time. Back earlier this spring, I did a video of me planting up this space, both with the plugs that I started and with all of the bulbs. I really think the combination is what makes this successful, even from the very beginning. And in the winter, it will go down to almost nothing, very minimal presence. Just you'll see the structural boxwoods, we'll have the cherry trees. Those will get larger over time. And then we'll have this big flush of growth and just magical blooms to look forward to every spring, summer, and fall. It can be challenging to find things that look good in the dead of summer, but bulbs are one of those things. The summer blooming bulbs, you can get June and July really great results from summer blooming bulbs, where a lot of the perennials will tend more towards a spring or a fall. But with annuals and bulbs, you can really extend your bloom season to get a big punch of color, a big wow, right in the middle of the summer. See, I've got the head of the poppies, and I've actually been waiting for them to get totally ripe. And do you see all those little black seeds? Those are poppy seeds. So the best thing to do with poppies is just to throw them back out and leave it up to nature as to where they want to be. But poppies is actually a thing I sow direct. You can't really sow poppies in trays and then hope to transplant them. They don't do well that way. But what you can do is just throw out a bunch of seed. And I actually had a lot more, but because they're done at this point of the summer, they were really just kind of skeletons, brown skeletons. I pulled most of them out, but I am saving some, and I'll do that with all of those seeds. So we'll re-scatter all of the seeds from things like poppies and these bachelor buttons that are going over as well. Same thing. We will let this decide where it wants to be again next year. And that's the great thing with a garden space like this too, is you have a few things that self-sow. You get the flywheel started on that. And the more you do, the more you'll have a good seed bank in the ground. So there's always a seed bank of things that you don't want. The weeds that blow in on the wind, anything that was here before that we didn't totally manage to get rid of. But you also can do your own little version of that by saying, okay, these are things that I know self-sow, so I'm going to put them in here, let them go to seed, and just see what I get next year. One thing that's fun about going through a portal and then experiencing something on the other side is these feeling of garden rooms. So we have the courtyard, that's a kitchen garden behind us, and then you walk through the garden gate. There's a feeling of being pinched down, and then all of a sudden it opens up again. And what I love about a tight pathway is that you're almost being enveloped in plants. Everybody loves that, from children to even adults. I think it's just really fun to feel like you've got yourself right in the middle of a lush garden space. And even if you don't have a lot of space to make a big garden, if you pack two sides of a path, you can give that feeling within a small space. And look, we're doing it here again, pinching, and then it opens up. We actually had a garden party here over the weekend, and it was so cute to see all the little girls especially run down this garden path to perch on the benches with their pieces of cake by the fountain and to say ooh, ah, at all the butterflies and bees that were just buzzing around. There's nothing more special than seeing a garden space inhabited, especially by children. I will put a link to the other videos that talk about the process of starting the seeds for this garden and then planting the bulbs, because really this was a process that is not hard. It takes a little bit of time, but not more than a year's cycle. So I think a project like this, where you're transforming a piece of lawn into just a flowery kind of cottage garden paradise, is well within reach, really, for anyone. Thank you so much to flowerbulb.eu for sponsoring this video. Please visit flowerbulb.eu for more information and inspiration.